Governor of the state of
Thank you very much for that very kind and very generous introduction, and good morning to everyone here. Good morning! I'm so excited to be here to join all of you, and Ilyse Hogue and Mary Herman and Congresswoman Pingree and everyone who spoke earlier. I want to thank you very much for your support in my candidacy for governor. You are all advocates, very strong advocates. And I'm so lucky to have all of you campaigning with me during this campaign for governor. And Mary, I want to thank you in particular for joining us here today. We do go back a long ways working in the Maine legislature. And you're absolutely right. When I actually did talk to your husband, Senator King, earlier this week, I did talk about the hub zone. I figured today I didn't get that in there. But Senator King has been a devoted his career to making Maine a better place for all of us to live. I'm extremely humbled and honored to receive his support and your support as well this week. So thank you very much. Today I'm surrounded around by all of you here today. It's hard for me to think that one of the most important women role model actually in my life, as you heard Congresswoman Pingree mentioned it earlier, was my mom. I grew up in a large Franco family in Medway. My dad worked in the mill for over 40 years. My grandfather 43 years. And my mom actually had a very difficult job, raising 6 kids, 5 boys, and the last one was my sister Lynn, the girl. But my mom was, a rock. She was a solid, individual for our family, and she can definitely be a very tough cookie as well at times. She needed to be. Of course, we all kid that she was very easy on Lynn, my sister. But make no mistake about my sister was pretty tough too as well. Jackie was part of the 133rd. She could outshoot any of the boys. And she's very athletic, unlike the rest of us. But my mom was an incredible force who shaped my lives and the lives of my brothers and sisters. Times were not always easy. We had to live a very frugal lifestyle up in northern Maine, but we had enough to get by. And a lot has changed since then. It's unfortunate that far too many Mainers, things have gotten harder. And I can remember talking to my mom just before she passed away, how she was saying how things are just getting harder and harder for people to live these days, and it shouldn't have to be that way. There's so much greed and self-interest here in this country, and we can do better as a country, and we must do better as a country. And but our current governor has chosen to ignore and even scuff off the challenges that so many women here in Maine are facing as well. It's not right that women in Maine earn 79 cents for every dollar that a man earns. Yet Governor LePage has vetoed a minimum wage increase, as you heard earlier as well. And it's not right that there are single mothers raising 2 kids all across the country, working hard and working full-time. And yet they're living in poverty. And homelessness has actually gone up here in the state of Maine 26%, where around the country it's gone, the average has gone down. Of course, you can, how can you expect governors to understand obstacles on the economy today, what we're facing here today with working women, and facing when he actually thinks that $100,000 a year is not a lot of money. Imagine a lot of you like to make that. It's hard for families to make ends meet. paying your bills, making your mortgage payments, putting food on the table, buying clothes for the kids, and there's one issue right after another. The expenses that keep mounting up each and every day. And the governor's refusal to raise the minimum wage is just one example of how too many politicians across this country want to take women's rights backwards. Whether we're talking about pay equity issues or health care, too many politicians aren't advocating for women. And as the president said last night, when women succeeds, America succeeds. And unlike our current governor, I will never second guess a woman's right to choose. And I will work to restore funding for family planning services, including life-saving cancer screening, disease testing, and birth control. Let this governor veto. And then, he couldn't even remember that he vetoed it. And speaking about vetoes, we all know that this governor vetoed bipartisan legislation to expand access to health care for Maine families, not once, but 5 times. 5 times. And as I've committed to a lot of you already, and I'll recommit today, that on day 1, under my administration, I'll be submitting legislation to the legislature that will expand access to health care for the 70,000 Mainers. There is a lot at stake in this election, as you heard. And on Tuesday, Mainers can choose a new path where we can, once again, treat each other with respect and with dignity and with civility, even if we can disagree. And we can come together to solve our problems here in the state of Maine. We can forge new paths forward and take our state in a new direction that we all can be proud of here in the state of Maine. Or we can have another 4 more years of Governor LePage's divisive partisanship leadership style. And to me, so many of you I've talked with throughout this whole state of Maine, we know that there is a clear choice in this election. And I've seen an incredible amount of energy throughout the campaign, especially over the last couple of weeks in this race. And we do only have 4 more days to go. But these 4 days are going to be so crucial. Yes. But we can do it. I know we can do it. Yes, we can. 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 The reason why I know we can do it is because when I talk to people on the campaign trail, whether they're Democrats, Republicans, or Independents, they want a future. They want the ability to be able to have their children work their way into the middle class, to be able to put food on the table, oil in the tank so they can keep their homes warm, buy the medicine that they need. They want someone in the governor's mansion that will actually think outside the box and move this state forward in a positive direction.
Yes. You tell them, Mike.
And we can do it. And that's why I ask each and every one of you here today to continue doing what you have been doing over the last several months. Continue talking to your friends and your neighbors to make sure that they understand the stakes in this election is really crucial. There's no turning back on November 5th. We have to move forward. We got to move forward for women's issues, for children issues, for seniors issues, for law enforcement issues. We got to move this state forward in a positive direction so we can once again be proud of our governor, say we're a progressive state, we're a state that's going to be highlighted.
next couple days is about getting out the vote. So who do we like? Mike! And what are we going to do? And what are we going to do again? All right, so I know everybody in the room knows the drill, but it is time to make sure Mike becomes our next governor. We all need to spend the next 4 days, women in this room, women outside this room, and all of the great men who are also here with us, doing everything we possibly can to help elect Mike Michaud. That means signing up for phone calling shifts, knocking on doors, emailing your friends, posting on Facebook, doing everything you possibly can because the stakes are so high. So, one more time, who do we